Hey Musties! If you missed my last video, I literally just reported there's a brand new King Kong video game, so check out my channel for that video. But that's not all. We have some more King Kong and Godzilla news from San Diego Comic-Con. We didn't get the trailer for Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire, but we did learn that apparently DC Comics is teaming up with Legendary for a 7-part crossover of the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, all in one series. According to IGN, has Batman finally met his match? IGN has 8 images you can preview of the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. I will have a link in the description. It's interesting that DC finally gets to do the Godzilla crossover. The creative team on Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong includes Brian Buccellato, I'm butchering these names, and artists Christian Deuce and Luis Guerrero. I have a link to the full article in the description box. According to DC, the series begins with a seemingly ordinary battle between the Justice League and the Legion of Doom. However, the battle opens a doorway to the Monsterverse, causing Godzilla, Kong, and other monsters to spill into the DC universe. I'm getting more hyped the more I read this. I find this crossover really interesting, especially because we just had a Godzilla vs. Power Rangers crossover, and now we're already moving on to the Justice League. Who knows what's next? The president of DC says, "As a comics fan, there's nothing more fun and exciting than exploring those amazing what-if situations that come up when fandoms cross over. In this case, it's a matchup of the world's greatest superheroes in the Justice League who take on not only the king of the monsters, Godzilla, but the mighty Kong himself, so they will battle. It's a crossover and no-holds-barred battle, decades in the making, and no bona fide comic fans will want to miss it." The writer of this comic series says, "I've had the good fortune to write most of the legendary DC superheroes before, from my time on The Flash, Detective Comics, and Injustice. This time, I get to build something way larger than life, using all the toys in 2 different sandboxes. It's such a thrill to tear open both the DC Universe and Legendary's Monsterverse for this dream project." Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong #1 will be released October of this year. That's the same month that new Power Rangers series, the Power Rangers Academy, begins. IGN says this series, the Godzilla vs. Kong vs. Justice League, is notable because right now apparently there is no ongoing Justice League comic book series, so this fills a void in the DC Comics. So if you want to see the whole article in full details, go ahead and click the link in the description box. But this is great news. I can't wait to get my hands on a copy of the hardcover collection of all 7 issues. Alright, what do you think of this, Musties? Are you a superhero fan? I always wanted to read the Marvel Godzilla comics, but I always felt that they weren't accurate enough to the Godzilla franchise, so I never really delved into them. Have you read those? What do you think of them? Are you anticipating this new DC Godzilla crossover? What would you do in the situation? Who would you like to see Godzilla team up in other franchises, even if it isn't a giant monster? And how would you do it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. And then there's a list of cover artists. You can check that out on the IGN.